Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Crisis Currency Conversations. Can you believe that we are up to episode 7? So if you haven't been tuning in with us, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Larvetta Lofton. And I'm going to put my name on the screen so that you can make sure that you can find additional videos. But what I will say is it's been a rough week. I don't know about you, but it's been tough. And I will tell you, but I look forward to this Friday. I look forward to being able to share information, share with you, with other people that are thriving through this crisis, that are giving us strategies to make sure that we sustain our businesses. And I am so pleased to get my sisters on here today. They are really my sisters. They are my champions. They are my advocates, and I'm so grateful for them. And so if you've been following me and you have been keeping up with Crisis Currency Conversations, I hope that you will share this because I know that what is about to go forth will be a blessing to those that watch. So please share this with your platforms, share this with business owners, entrepreneurs, corporate leaders, because I am bringing women who are changing how we look at business from a global standpoint and looking at skills. So please make sure you share. Before I get started and bring them on, because I'm so excited, like I'm so pumped to get them in. I always do a special segment of what brings me joy. And I make sure that I tell you why I do it. And then I feature a business. And so I want to make sure that people understand that during this time, supporting others, supporting your local businesses, supporting your local sisters. And so what brings me joy this week are these beautiful flowers. So these are tulips. And I got it from a local business in Chicago called Events by August. And they are gorgeous. And can you believe this whole bouquet was $11? $11. So I know some of you all are not in Chicago, but support your local business, support them. But supporting someone that can help bring joy to you, because it certainly brings joy to me. So I just want this to be our background, that this is what gives me joy when I have to sit here in my desk and work on my computer all day, every day, which most of us are doing if we're doing any business. As of right now, all business is pretty much online and virtual. So I have this. So I just wanted to share that with you. Again, support your local business. Support, that is for me. So I do that every week. So that's $11 that's being circulated. And I do it online. I do it in other ways. So I encourage you to do the same thing during this time, because it really does matter. Okay. In your mind, you're thinking $11, but it really does help change people's views, but it also lets them know that they're doing something amazing too. So all right, now we're going to get in. I am so excited to bring my sisters into our studio. We call this our studio. So this is our studio and we get to talk. And so if you have your beverage or your snack, please come and join this conversation. You are in for a treat. I've got my tea here just because that's what I love to do. So I'm going to introduce, and I'm going to just do it in order. I'm just from last names, just because my days of working as a journalist. And as far as order, I'm going to introduce my sister, Dr. Carmetria Dunham Burton, to the online studio.
Hey girl. Hello.
Hey. So and it's so good to see you. I mean, I know this is not live, but this is our way of saying live, right? This is our live. This is our live. So we'll take it live. And so then I'm going to introduce my other sister. Now, typically I'll spend some time with one, but because these two sisters, if it wasn't for Sonia, I wouldn't know Carmetria. So I got to make sure we make this literally a family affair. So let me introduce you all to my other sister, Sonia Jackson Miles. As you all know, she is the founder and CEO of the Sister Accord. So you guys can see her. I'm going to be running their information so that you all can connect with them. But let me just say these are my sisters right here. Okay. and I'm seeing them live. Yeah, I know, right? I know. And so I know when I get to Atlanta, I get to see you, Carmetria. And, when I do get there, we do take some time, and Sonia comes to Chicago quite frequently. So I get to see her here. That is a treat. And you come here at least, twice? Like twice? You come here quite frequently, Sonia, right?
Oh, yes. I come there a lot. It's like a second home.
Second home, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I do. I feel like it is your second home. Like you take the plane, you take the train, you take the car. Like you have multiple modes of transportation.
But I'm always there. That's for sure.
You are. And we have. So I will say this, as I think that through, and both of you are. We both go to restaurants and enjoy. So, that's going to look a little bit different. So just the thought of it just kind of makes me feel a certain kind of way. But I do want you guys to share, how you both start in corporate, because we've got businesses, that are on here. And I really like to share how you both are, you, Sonia, leaving corporate, you, Carmetria, is still in corporate, but you both are leading business leaders and businesses in your roles even right now. And so I really want to talk about how long you both have been in corporate. For you, Carmetria, how long have you been in corporate?
So for me, hello, thank you so much for this, Larvetta. And you're right, these are my sisters. It goes beyond the Greek letters, right? Because me and Sonia could gang up on Larvetta, but it's not about that, right? We are sisters from different mothers, but sisters by the same mission, right? So thank you so much for having me. And it's always good to just bring things full circle.
Yes.
So great to be here. I have been in corporate America, I'm probably dating myself now, a little bit over about 18 years. Have worked with 100 companies, have just been able to really go and make a difference in corporate America through my talents, abilities, and gifts.
Yeah. And was that your path in college? Was that the path that you were seeking when you were in college?
Oh, yeah. In college, I knew I wanted to be the Black woman with the corporate office.
That's good.
Overlooking the city. I knew that, again, in college. Well, we can talk about how your thinking evolves. But in college, that was my goal. Yeah.
That's good, Carmi. I mean, that, and I think sometimes, and I know you hear this often, is that, with so many people that are entrepreneurs, but then I always say we need corporate leaders like you to advocate for businesses and for entrepreneurs. And so it doesn't, I think sometimes there was this part where people were shaming corporate leaders, people who were in corporate roles, and it was coming from women. And I've actually been in a situation like, oh, so you still work for somebody? I was like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like we need Carmetrias in the world.
Thank you.
We really do. So Sonia, how long were you in corporate? All my sisters started when they were like 5. So just so that everybody knows, you started at 5.
25 now, right? Oh my gosh. Let me just first of all say that I'm trying not to do the ugly cry right now. You all know me, and you know how much I love you. And for us, the three of us, to be here today is not a coincidence.
No.
And so I just thank you, Larvetta, for doing this and having this platform, and for inviting my sister, Dr. Carmetria, and I. It is really, truly an honor, and it's a blessed gathering of sisterhoods, because what is going to happen today in our conversation is our souls coming together is going to bless people immensely, because they're going to see what true sisterhood looks like. Yeah. And that's exactly what we need today. So I just wanted to, first of all, say thank you for that. I started it's been over 25 years.
Wow.
Because I started my corporate career at Ford Motor Company, and then went to the Gillette Company, and then Procter & Gamble acquired Gillette. And so that's how I ended up living in Cincinnati, because I came with the acquisition and had the opportunity to lead part of the integration of Gillette into Procter & Gamble, which was an opportunity of a lifetime. And they actually created a role for me director of global media purchases. So I was responsible for all media. Now, P&G is the largest advertiser in the world. And I had the responsibility of designing a global media sourcing organization and then running it.
Wow. And so how long have you been that you've left corporate America, Sonia? How long has it been?
6.5 years. I cannot tell you about 7. This year is going to be 7 years. And I told you that there's something significant.
It is something significant about 7.
And so, yeah, it's been 6.5 years that I stepped out and bet on me. Literally, what I did was I bet on me.
That's awesome. Oh, I like that. I like that so much, Sonia. You know, I really like to give context, because sometimes people don't understand when they see people, they're like, oh, I met this, and like they've been working at this for 20 years or 10 years and 15 years. And I think that just speaks to their dedication, to their commitment. And I do believe that that's important to point out. So the other unique thing that I think is so dynamite, as I was preparing my notes for you, my sisters, because I literally was like, this is like, we about to just sit in the living room and just chit chat.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then I was like, all my sisters on here went to Black colleges. I mean, just to give out shot, right? I mean, it's like, and what's crazy, what you don't know, Sonia, which is crazy, is I didn't know Carmetria, but we were at college the same time. Yep. I was at Southern in Baton Rouge my first year. Wow. And transferred. So she's friends with my friends in Chicago, which is crazy, because I think I posted something and they were like, wait, you went Carmetria? I was like, yeah. They were like, you don't remember Carmetria? And I was like, no, because I'm back here. So I just think that's just amazing. It's just full circle. But, to know that we both came from, historically Black institutions, and, we all have in our own right are showing up in big ways. We're in a crisis right now. Do you find that being at a Black college somewhat prepares us for this crisis? I do want to, and I feel like they prepared us for it. It's something that's so unique. So I do want to ask for you, Sonia, do you feel that way coming from, FAM, Tallahassee, small town? Do you find that to be true?
Absolutely. And I say this all the time, and we can talk about it again when we come to talking about minority businesses. We have had to, and this is what I say to all of my clients as I am working with them in consulting. When you think about the African-American consumer, we have had to make a way out of no way in so many instances. So innovation is just in our blood. It is who we are. And so if you really, truly want to go to another level of excellence, spend time understanding what is happening for the African-American consumer. What is their life like? Yeah. What do they have to do?
Yeah, that's good.
And when you do that, there's another whole infinite set of possibilities for your business. And we can talk about that more as we talk about minority businesses and how we can help them drive pivoting right now.
Yep.
Crisis. But I just wanted to say what FAMU did was it helped to magnify that for me in a very safe environment that shined a light on me when I didn't even see the light myself.
Wow. I agree. What about you, Carmetria?
Oh, great question. I will tell you, ladies, let me just be real clear. This pandemic time and this quarantine took me back to college, right? Because when we were in college, we did our own hair, we did our own nails,
we cooked,
survived, right?
Yeah.
So the word essential business has a new meaning to me. So when I couldn't do my hair or go get my hair done, guess what I did? I went back to my college days.
Amen.
I did my own hair. I did my own nails, right? I did my own facials because we did that in college.
That's right.
And we did it for each other, and it created a sense of community and tribe. So going to an HBCU I have learned how to build my community. I have learned how to build my tribe. It has allowed me to have skills. And then it has allowed me to go back to my community and tribe of people when I need things. It has allowed me to be resourceful. So I think, coming from an HBCU in a time of crisis like this, I definitely went back to those skills that I garnered in college at East Southern University.
Yeah. Hey, I'm half SU. I'm half SU. I did go to Clark Atlanta University where, you find a way or make one. That is our mission. And so it's crazy.
Well, let me just shout out FAMU. I mean,
everywhere. Rattlers, they come in here. They come in.
Now, we got to do this. And I got to say College of Love and Charity. And, Rattlers don't mess around. So
I love it. And it's a sense of community that HBC is like. It doesn't matter where we go. We come in and we are just like, hey. And so I do think I just wanted to certainly bring up that because I think that that's an important topic as, if we're talking to college students, who are currently still in school, like, trust me, you about to get a new set of skills. Trust me, because when it happens, you're going to be able to access your essentials around that. So thank you for Carmetria. So Carmetria, I do want to talk about MBE, Minority Business Enterprise. For those that are listening, we've got people. Good morning. I just want to say hello to the people. Hello. Thank you all for joining us. But I want to talk about MBE. I know that there's WeBank, and then there's MBE. And I know that you are, a force within this Minority Business Council. I have heard you speak. I've seen you. So I know you're passionate about that. And so I really want to talk about, is this the time for people to start to get certified? Do you think that this is going to be beneficial beyond COVID? Is this going to be good for Black and brown businesses and minority companies being certified right now?
Yeah, great question. So, back to the HBCU question, think about how many of us had hustles in college, right? Because we were trying to make money, right? A lot of us maybe went to school on loans or work studies, and we all had businesses on the side. So it really allowed us to really garner those skills. And if you're in business for yourself now, I want you to look at your business as a business and not a hustle.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it as a hustle, you're going to show up like a hustle.
Yeah.
You are the CEO of a business. You are an entrepreneur. So what is certification? Certification is the standard. It just speaks to the credibility of your business to corporate America. So if you're in a business that's doing business B2B, business to business, and you want to do business with corporate America, you will need to be certified. And certification just means you're 51% owned by women or minorities, and that you're owned, managed, and controlled by that ownership. It's a standard. It brings credibility to your business, and it is leverage for you as a minority entrepreneur in the marketplace. You can leverage your certification with corporations, with organizations, and doing business with other MBEs.
Yeah.
So certification is the standard. It brings credibility and legitimacy to your business, not your hustle, but your business.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Carmetria. Yes. And Sonia, I love y'all for this because people come to me all the time and they ask me, well, why are you certified? Did you get any business? Those are the two number. I promise you. Well, did you get any business? And I said no. And I said, to be honest with you, I had sisters like you, Sonia, mentors that I shared with. There's a book in my here. And I said, hey, I'm debating, should you do it? And you gave me a resounding yes, like, what you waiting on? Like, when are you going to do that? So, just being able to do that. And so, Sonia, you worked in corporate. So you saw that there were opportunities that we were missing. Like, we were missing because we weren't, as you say, Carmetria, right? We were still hustling, right? We were not being able to really see our business as that. So I think that's it. So Sonia, if you could share a little bit about why, for you sitting in that role, how you saw minorities missing out on opportunities.
So when I started my career, so I left FAMU and went to Ford as a buyer. And purchasing in the automotive industry, that was a tough job. And so one of the things that was very important for me coming into corporate America was, how can I help communities by helping businesses who could then employ the folks in the community? We strengthen the communities. And then, is this a trickle effect from there, right? So I help to create companies and give them opportunities. And again, back then, not to sound old, but back then, we hadn't even certified women-owned businesses yet. So this is strictly minority. And I took a lot of chances. I, had people looking at me sideways because I was trying new things and innovating with this minority business program. But when I look at some of those companies today that are hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, even helped one lady create $1 billion business, right?
Wow.
I can see the fruits of that labor, all of those seeds that were planted back then, because we did the work and we had a strong foundation and we made sure that people's stuff was tight. We made sure, you can't be raggedy. I don't do raggedy.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you are doing everything decently and in order. And then if you have that internal advocate within the company, which is what I served as, we were able to do all kinds of really amazing things in the name of innovation by helping these minority companies. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing.
And I think that
I do want to add, some people come to me. I know you see the Paint Your Lips Red logo, but I do work for a major corporation in helping small minority women-owned businesses. And sometimes I hear people say, you know what? I just want to run a good business. I don't want the label. I don't want the label of being woman or minority certified. And here's my response to that. You need to know corporations have goals
Exactly.
to do business with women, those groups. And the only way you're going to get looked at is if you're certified. So the certification is a leverage, right? You're not stereotyping yourself. It is a leverage for even corporations to begin to have a conversation with you. Right. So most people don't know these Fortune 100 companies have goals. They have to spend a certain amount of money with these minority and women-owned businesses. So why wouldn't you want to get certified? Okay.
I mean, and I can share with you guys that while we didn't get business as a result of certification, to your point, and was that, but when I got the business the second time, because I'm certified,
that's right, you were
with this minority business, because we have goals in mind and we need to secure her again. Now they might not wanted to secure me, but it just, oh, well, we got these goals. Let's go. And no disrespect. Let's go on and just hire this black woman company. But I've already delivered and demonstrated I can do great work. So I had to get past that too, Carmitra. I had to get past that because that was important. So really understanding, and I'm not going to get technical, but the idea of just being a sub. And that's how I started. I was a sub for several years, and people can make a lot of money. In other episodes, we talked about it. One of the other businesses she shared, I've been a sub and it works for me and it's okay. She's like, I don't have to do the work. I don't have to put the RFPs together. I'm okay. But it's okay because those tier 2s could be very substantial, right? So those tier 1s. And so, Carmitra and Sonia, is that when a black business does get a tier 1, that's huge. Like that's huge.
And to your point, Larvetta, you don't lead with that. You don't come in the door with a sense of entitlement.
No.
It's oh, by the way, I'm certified. Exactly. You lead with your value proposition, your benefits, all that you can do. And oh, by the way, I'm Larvetta Lofton. L3 is a certified minority business.
Exactly.
Exactly. And I thank you all for that. So I really wanted to make sure. And so do you guys think, I know for you, Carmitra, in the aviation industry, do you find that beyond COVID, that being certified is really going to be very vital right now, as we get past COVID right now? Do you see it to be?
I think so. I think as corporations get beyond the COVID-19, supply chains are going to be leaner. And what do I mean by that? We're going to be looking for businesses that can be nimble, that can adjust to our culture, that's going to give us fair prices, and that can be good partners.
Good.
And part of that being lean is we're going to need to know, one, if you're certified, what is your credibility? And remember, certification is a standard. Who are your other clients? What innovation or great ideas can you help bring to the table? And how can you deliver quick and fast a quality product or service?
Yeah.
So as supply chains become leaner and more nimble, I think certification will definitely be key.
That's good. That's good to know, because so for those of us that's listening, this time is a good time to get certified, right? I'm putting some action steps together. So you may want to start calling your individual councils and get the ball rolling, because you're talking to global leaders who are seeing the trends. I want to switch a little bit, because I certainly want to make sure that we honor, we're in a crisis, obviously, but we're also in a crisis, given the current events with Ahmaud and George Floyd. So we know that we're in a state of, we have anxiety, but then we have this I think we're overly sensitive right now. And it's okay to say that. And so how is that affecting minorities showing up, through this, Sonia? Like, how is this, we know we're in a crisis, right? So we're all anxious. We're all we're hypersensitive. How is what's going on right now? And even for me to know what happens, we see this. I live in a community. I see this a lot. So it's nothing new. But one thing I think somebody said is it's not new. It's just being filmed, right? So now that we see it, because we are now on digital platforms all day, it's now bringing it to light. But how is minorities who, are out here changing the world, how are they able to show up, given how significant COVID is to our community? And then now this.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, let me say I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken. I try to not watch. We have to be so careful with what we allow our eyes to see.
Yeah.
And what we allow our ears to hear. And I hadn't seen anyone die before. My mom passed away last June 10th. So I'm coming up on a year, and I had never seen anyone die before. When I just watched a little bit of the video of George, I felt like I was watching someone die. And so that is painful. It's extremely painful.
It is.
The other thing that really struck me was he looked like a gentleman, and some of you saw this post that I posted, probably a month ago. And I was saying how, I'm trying to learn how to smile with my eyes because I'm wearing the mask.
Yeah.
And I was in Atlanta's airport, because I'm always traveling through Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And I spoke to, and I speak to everyone, and I'm smiling. And I spoke to a gentleman who was doing the janitorial services. And he told me, and it was close to the end of the day, he said, "You're the first person that acknowledged me, that saw me." And when I thought back, when I saw that video, he looked like George.
Wow.
And I said, what are we going to do so that we can connect and see each other?
Yeah.
How are we going to put the human back in humanity?
Yeah.
And so my heart breaks. And I think the way that we have to do it is we have to have, and I was just teaching this week with my Power Hour sessions, we have to have courageous conversations.
Yes.
We have to have, everybody has to be at the table for this courageous conversation. We can't just talk to each other. We have to have Black, white, Hispanic, Asian. We all just got to sit at the table and have some courageous conversations, because you can't come up with the solutions if you don't acknowledge the problem.
Mhm.
And so, what I'd like to have minority companies do is find ways, talk to your customers, talk to your clients, and find ways for us to have these conversations. I was fortunate here in Cincinnati after, I guess that would have been Philando Castile
Yep.
in Minnesota. I went to the chief of police. I had a meeting here in Cincinnati. And he agreed for me to train all of his supervisors, had to go through mandatory, had to go through my Great Leaders Have Great Relationships series. And, you know, we got to have a conversation. We got to have a conversation about what is going on. And it cannot be, I don't think it can be separated. It has to be joint. So corporations have to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Organizations have to be a part of this.
Yeah.
But I believe that it has to start with dialogue. And I call it the heart work. And heart work is always the hard work. But we got to come down to the individual level to make sure that we are addressing this situation. But I'm heartbroken.
Yeah. It is hard. For us to show up and, even for my team, I just had to talk to them about it. Like, how do you feel? And so, for you, Carmi, you're in aviation. We know it's in safety is, big, how is this impacting, aviation, because people are on high alert and high alarm. And, transportation I believe is looking very different in a number of different ways. So, I mean, if any of us, we have, sons, daddies, husbands, uncles who have to get out here and fight this war, it is hard to do. And so I will say, and I said this earlier, I did a webinar on leading with empathy. And so how it's no longer showing, your title, if you will. It's like, do you have empathy? Like, can you come to the table with empathy? And so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for someone who can deliver that. And so, Carmetria, for you, how has that been able to do in your culture, and how is that showing up given what we are experiencing right now?
Agreed. Heartbreaking, unbelievable. But after I got over my emotions, what I did is I called up each one of my friends that are white, Hispanic, and Asian, and I asked them a simple question. This was relative to Ahmaud. I said, did you see the video, and tell me what you thought? And to Sonia's point, those conversations have to start with people that don't look like us. And then they need to bring in their friends to be a part of the conversation. It can't just stop there. It has to be the power of one.
Mm-hmm.
So I've asked all of my friends that don't look like me, what do you think? And they all gave me their opinion. I mean, they were passionate about it. They talked about, without even having a lot of details, what they saw, it wasn't right. It wasn't fair. And we need to address it. And we need to do more than just run. We need to do more than put a hashtag. We need to do more than it needs to go beyond the conversation with just us and the power of one. And what we came up with is, if we are ever in a situation that doesn't look right, that doesn't feel right, that doesn't seem right, we're going to say, that's not okay. And we're going to address it. Mm-hmm. And begin to have those conversations on how we can deal with situations. Now, being a Black woman, being a Black young woman in corporate America, I see it every day, right? I've had those conversations that were not easy. I've been a part of conversations that were not easy about other minorities. But what I like what you said, Larvetta, earlier is, when you have a seat at the table, you have a responsibility to use your seat. So being in a corporate environment has not always been easy, but I try to speak up where it makes sense. I don't do it in an inflammatory way. I do it in a very objective, professional, empathetic, caring way. And you'd be amazed at when you lead that way, how the conversation is different.
Yeah.
Because race conversations are different. One, people don't want you to think they're racist. Two, they're embarrassed. And three, they don't want to say the wrong thing.
That's right.
But all you have to do sometimes is just have empathy.
Yeah.
Put yourself in their shoes, right? So I think it starts with a large conversation and the power of one, and saying it's not okay, and beginning to build on those conversations for further action.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, for those that are listening, I just want to say, I can't see it, but hit some hearts for those families, not for me, but for those families, because right now these hearts matter. And we have to understand that the hearts, that our hearts go out to them. We don't know them, but we all identify with them in some capacity. It's funny that someone watched it. I couldn't watch it. I actually just shared with a colleague of mine. I saw my dad get pistol whipped when I was about 5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
So I can't go there, right? And at that time, that police officer didn't say, oh, that's her family. I mean, he's with his family. Don't do that. They didn't care then. So, and for me, that was probably something that I felt like, is this for Black men? Is this always how Black men got to get, if they can't stand up for themselves? So, and I think that's standing up for yourself, even as a business owner. And so how do we stand up for ourselves as business owners? And so I'm going to, kind of talk to Carmetria in the aviation, because I know you're in the aviation industry. What do you see is going to be the trend, and how can minorities show up in this trend of aviation? Because transportation is key. It's a fundamental way how we get goods and services and products and people. I mean, to be transported. So what do you see, and how is that going to pivot?
I think the way businesses can show up, I know we keep hearing this word pivot, right? And I think that's great. But nobody's talking about what you do after you pivot.
Yeah.
What do you do after you pivot? Is you have to adapt. Yeah. So we're talking about the new normal, but it's going to be a new need. So you can have a new normal all day long, but if you haven't adapted, then you're going to get left behind, which means that needs to translate into how your business is going to look.
Yeah.
So I think crisis presents opportunities. I think if I were a business owner, I would really step back and look at what's going to be important. And I can tell you 3 things that are important: safety, cleanliness, and wellness. So safety, cleanliness, and wellness, that's going to be important for people that are traveling. So if you're looking to pivot and adapt to a business in safety, a business in sanitation, a business in cleanliness, now is the time to consider that. And don't look at it as opportunistic, but be very strategic about it, right? Because I heard somebody say the other day, man, I could get a come up if I had a cleaning business right now. Well, you know what? You're probably right. But to me, that was an opportunistic approach.
Yeah.
You got to be real strategic about it, because people that are traveling, some people just won't be comfortable traveling again, by train, bus, plane, staying at hotels. So we really got to have to get a new me with a new normal, which means you're going to have a new business.
Yeah.
I think you need to adapt to that culture. I think if your business is not in any of those areas, I think you need to focus now on maybe not growing your business, but sustaining your business. Yeah. Because a lot of companies now are not spending, right? We're all under financial crisis. We're looking at every dollar spent. So this is a time to what? Maybe rebrand your business, right? Get new relationships, right? Maybe you want to do a new website. Maybe you want to brand yourself in the market as being a subject matter expert, like you're doing, Larvetta, creating platforms for conversations. So I don't think now is a good time to grow your business, but you can sure sustain your business by differentiating yourself and by diversifying. How do you diversify? We are now in the age of internet. You may need to get some products online now, right?
Yeah.
They're no longer of the days are doing business face-to-face around the conference table. So you may have to get products online. You got to create a virtual environment.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to diversify your business in order to keep up with the new normal. So it's
Yeah.
going to be a new normal, which means you may need to get a new business model.
Yeah.
So
And
that's what comes out.
I mean, you know, I appreciate that, Carmetria, because I tell everyone it's like, you know, you know, we set up what we're gonna do in fourth quarter, which was do some branding. We just moved dollars into second, third quarter, and guess what? Hopefully, in fourth quarter, we're gonna get new business, right? So you do, it's pivot. But and the other piece of in our last episode, I said, if you're in business, you should be. I mean, Sonia, you pivot 3-4 times, like, and have to adapt. So hopefully this isn't, you know, if it is your first time, being able to adapt so that when another crisis comes, you can pivot again and adapt. And people don't understand that pivot does not mean failure, right? And I think there's parts where we think, well, you know, I'm not doing that business anymore. Okay, look, okay. So what you got going on? What you're selling now? And so, Sonia, for you, and you know, Sister Accord,
Yes.
and what they service to corporations and for business owners, how do you see, you know, how, you know, leading with love, leading with that is going to be very, very important right now. So really helping us understand the Sister Accord and how important that organization is to businesses and to entrepreneurs. I know you're focusing just on businesses right now, but I think entrepreneurs can take a page out of what you're doing.
Right. Absolutely. And I just thank, you know, so many dream walkers, which is part of my program that I spend a lot of time mentoring and supporting entrepreneurs and people in corporate America. And so many of them are on today. So thank you all for joining this conversation. It's so necessary. And what I am just so very thankful for, I'm thankful and humbled by my obedience, because I was scared. I was running from this for a long time. You know that song, I've been running from Jesus a long time?
Yeah.
Man, I was running from this because I was comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want people who are watching right now is to be cautious and careful about getting comfortable. It's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
And so the journey for me with Sister Accord was, how do I take all of this that I'm talking about with leading with love and a platform of love and respect into the workplace, where there may be toxic environments, toxic relationships, things that are harming people's souls. I mean, literally, stress-related disorders were up, you know, sickness, sick leaves, all kinds
of
suicide, all these things. And so how do we create environments where people can really thrive, where people can really bring their full selves to work? And that's what we do with the Sister Accord, with the Accord Group and all of the programs we have. Great leaders have great relationships. It comes down to the fact that we have to find different ways of inspiring and bringing people along in the workplace that perhaps didn't happen pre-pandemic. Now get this. I know that this pandemic has been so challenging. We see, you know, over 100,000 people losing their lives. One of my mentees in Detroit passed away early in this pandemic. And what I'm saying to folks now is, my goodness, now more than ever, we have an opportunity to pause and ask ourselves, are we really truly leading? See, leadership is not about you. It's about the people you are called to serve. And so I think, you know, from the clients and people I'm working with right now, we are all pausing and saying, wait a minute, we were out of order. We needed to be sat down. We need to pause right now and ask, how are we leading these organizations? Are we harming hearts, or are we building hearts? Are we helping people go to that next level of excellence? And so that's a lot of the work. And again, remember I said, it's all heart work, sisters. And heart work is the hard work. But if we don't take the time to actually do this right now. I don't know when it will ever happen. If it won't happen now, I can't think of another time when it'll ever happen.
I think that, you know, because we should be, you know, we should be pausing and paying attention. So I agree with you, which is why I get to talk about. I know everybody's probably looking at Carmetria like, paint your lips red. Why we got on red lipstick? I know y'all wondering. Nobody's asked the question. Well, so I'm just gonna bring it up. So because this, you know, your movement, I would have to say, just when you first posted, I remember when I was able to wear my first red fingernail polish and lipstick, it was like literally a rites of passage. Like, you officially are able to do that. So talk about the movement and how you're helping women globally with your pledge.
Yeah. So I started the Paint Your Lips Red movement for two reasons. One is the story of my grandmother, which I'll let you go to my website and look at. But two, you know, we talked about having a seat at the table in corporate America and not feeling like you're seen, especially as a woman. And I was in situations where I would have a seat at the table. I could have given input to have a different outcome, but I wouldn't speak up. I wouldn't give my opinion. I wouldn't give my thought leadership because I was scared. I was in a room full of men, the only woman and sometimes the only minority, and I would sink down in my seat. And when you're invited to a meeting, you're there for a reason. You have a responsibility to use your voice. And so I created this movement for women to remember to show up, to speak up, to be fierce and fearless. And your red lipstick is your reminder. And red lipstick has been around for years. It's a classic color. Red looks good on everybody, right? So red lipstick is no longer a fashion statement, ladies. It's a call to action. And if you're a business owner, it's a call to action for you to advocate for yourself and your business.
Yeah.
For you to get those corporate contracts, for you to go after those clients that intimidated you. You have a business or product or service that you can pitch to somebody.
Yeah.
So use your voice.
Yeah.
And painting your lips red was my way of giving back to helping women reach their full potential in their life, in their marriage, in their business, in corporate America, in the classroom, in the courtroom, wherever it is.
Yeah.
And so I've committed to coaching women through just showing up.
Yeah.
And your red lipstick is your reminder. You know, we have the Me Too movement. We have all these movements, but now is the time for women to show up, speak up, and be seen.
And thank you. I love the movement. I too was that person, you know, just being able to be in a space where, you know, I was young as an entrepreneur and I didn't feel like I fit in because I wasn't like the rest of everyone else. So just being able to speak up, you know, so I suffered from that intimidation of being okay with your skin. So I think it's dynamite. Because there is something special about putting on some red lipstick. It's something. It's just
transform you. And guess what? You don't even feel it, but other people see it.
Yeah.
No, because when I see a woman in a red lipstick, I say, "Wow, girlfriend about to make moves." Right? She's showing up to be seen, and you have to be bold to wear red. And I had a lot of women say, "Carmetria, I'm too dark. My lips too big."
Yeah.
And then I say, "Find your shade." My shade is not your shade. And that is also synonymous with getting comfortable and being seen. Whenever I always see a woman that always wear a nude lipstick, I always say, "Girlfriend, what you hiding from? You're beautiful, I get it, but what you hiding from? I want a little color." And usually 9 out of 10 times they say, "You know what? I'm not ready for red lipstick. I don't want to be seen like that. I'm not ready to be that bold." And when we peel back the onion and start asking the right questions, there's some work that she needs to do to get her comfort level up.
That's good. That's good. Oh my gosh, that's good. I do want to talk, Sonia, about Sister Cora, where you got on. I know we were going to pose a few questions. So I was waiting for anybody who has questions because I certainly can sit here and talk all day. But we know that one thing I know for sure about my sisters here is that they are able to pour into me. And so I hope that if you're listening, you're getting this and allowing yourself to be, you know, like if you are, it's Friday, you could be empty, right? And so this right now is an opportunity for you to be poured into. And so I don't know about you, but Fridays, since we've been quarantined, is my time to be able to be like, woo, it's Friday. Yes, I get to stay off this computer for a minute. So I don't know about everybody else, but I do get a little excited to just get off for a minute. So, and so Jennifer says, wow, I have to get me some red lipstick. So she says, wow, I got to get some red lipstick. So somebody in here talking about they got to get some red lipstick. So for that.
She lives in Nashville. She comes all the way from Nashville to Cincinnati for Sister Accord every year.
Oh, wow. So when she's here and we're going to get her some red lipstick, Miss Carmisha, we got to make sure she is rocking the red. And Sonia, let's talk about Sister Accord as we wrap up. We don't have questions. You know, what you got going on, what's next for you, and how are you adapting in this new normal?
Yeah, thank you so much. So the Sister Accord is my mission to have 1 billion girls and women around the world learn how to love themselves and each other. And I want you to really hear me well when I talk about learn, because we have all of this stuff and all of this baggage that gets in the way of us truly loving ourselves. And when I found what I saw in corporate America, I'm just going to be, very honest. I saw a lot of women tearing each other down. I saw a lot of women not supporting each other. I saw women throwing each other under the bus, not helping each other go to that next level of excellence. And I said, well, wait a minute. The men, they may not like each other and they're still supporting each other. But the women, if they didn't like each other, it was going down.
Wow.
And I wanted a solution. I'm a solutions girl. I can't sit around and, talk about things. We got to do something about it. And so the Sister Accord and this whole process of helping people learn how to love the skin that they're in gives them the ability to then not look to the left or right in comparison. Comparison is the enemy of joy.
Yeah.
It will always steal joy. It's always someone thinner and cuter and all this other stuff that doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. It's the condition of your heart. But how do we get people to that place? Because it is a journey. And so that's what we do with the Sister Accord. Our programs are now in school systems. We're across the entire Cincinnati Public School District, the Sister Accord Leadership Program. And then we are in companies and groups, because women, will come together and bring the Sister Accord in to address some of that negative behavior. And then we're in New York City. We have schools there as well. And get it, they also introduced the Sister Accord to the young men in the school.
Nice.
Because if we're truly going to eradicate bullying and violence against girls and women, which is one of our pieces of our the work that we do, we got to talk to the boys and men.
Yeah.
And so we now have the Sister Accord at the Ohio State University, and we are getting ready to have our 20th Tea Party, Leadership Development Tea Party, on July 25th. And we had to pivot because Governor DeWine shut us down in March. We were going to have a tea party in Columbus, Ohio. And we have now found a way to have an amazing, engaging virtual tea party for the very first time, July 25th. And Mario, R&B singer, actor, Mario will be performing for us on July 25th. So we are really excited about that, and the fact that we have to figure out what we're going to do for Sister Accord Day. We have a holiday. We're on August 31st, where people all around the world celebrate love and sisterhood. And now we're figuring out what we will do for Sister Accord Day.
Yep. That's awesome. I mean, so Sonia, that's going to be virtual, or is that going to be back live?
The 25th is going to be virtual.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that people understand, so people can support it virtually.
Well, Sonia, you said something key. With the support of our men, we all win.
We all
have to begin to bring men
into the conversation.
And it's not that we, yes, some of us are feminists, but our men are really what supports us and gets us to that next level. So yeah, with the support of our men, we all win.
Thank you.
And we were, as a team, we're talking about the importance of next month. We're going to do a lot more around men, because it never was, I think to your point, the feminists meant taking men out of the conversation. And it was always about including men in the conversation. It was all about exclusivity. And I don't know how we went away from that. But that is something that it gets up under my skin, because, for men, many of them are advocating for Black women, when it comes to that supplier chain. I know for me, I've had some men who have advocate. They're like, yep, we gonna get you in, Larvetta. So I 100% appreciate them. And I appreciate when they tell me to, hey, do this differently. You might want to try this, so being open to that. So I just want to say to my sisters, I love y'all, with all my heart. And let me say this, last week I struggled because my sinuses were kicking. I didn't know what was going on, and I had to press through, and I did press through the interview. But today I felt so refreshed to be here with you guys, because it was like home for me. It was like I get to be able to sit with my sisters. And so I just want to say in closing, sisters do work together. And so we want to make sure that myth is taken away, that you do have, Black women that support each other. And even my Hispanic friends, my girlfriends, they struggle with the same thing, right? Their Hispanic girlfriend, they struggle. And they say, Larvetta, the one thing that I think is so important, as she told me, she says, I don't know, but I see more Black sisters helping each other than on the Hispanic. So I just want to say that just for positive, because we got enough negative in the world, but I see that and somebody else recognize that. So I think
we have a torch, right? So it's not, and Sonia, this is why I love Sonia Jackson Miles. She uses her torch to light others' torch.
Yeah, she does.
Just because her torch is going does not mean yours can't, but she's using hers to light others, right? And so that's what the power of one. Because guess what? When Sonia Jackson Miles goes away, heaven forbid, we can say, she poured into us. I remember when she told me, I read her book, I went to her tea party. So ladies, we got to collaborate and not compete.
That's right.
Over yourself. Somebody is always going to have more. They're going to look better. It's okay. You still have something to add. You are valuable.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's legacy. And thank you for saying that. That's why we're such kindred spirits, the three of us. And, I'm just so very humbled by it, because I do know that there are people out there who don't have what we have with each other. So I don't take it for granted. But that legacy piece is so important. And that's exactly why I do the things that I do, sisters, for both of you. But Carmetria, I'm specifically coming back to what you were saying, is because that is what legacy building is. When I'm dead and gone, when I have retired, when I sell, perhaps I will sell this business, right? What then happens? We don't want things to just rely on the shoulder of one person. And that happens so often, I think, in our communities. We rely on one person to lead us all. And if something happens to that person, then what do? We're looking around. We have to all take responsibility. And so thank you for saying that. That really warms my heart.
So I'm going to get, I'm trying to get us under 60 minutes, because these are corporate leaders and they got to go and make those next meetings. I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. We going to sign off and say, I hope that you all will come back with us.
Yes.
Next week, we're doing this every Friday. And so I just want to say to my sisters, thank you all for being here. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go to Larvetta Lofton and you can hear more episodes. I promise we're going to give you our rich content, introduce you to some amazing thought leaders. Till next week, peace, love, and be present. Peace. Love y'all.